All right, we're going to finish up Unit 3 in Create with Code, Unity, Lesson 3.2. We're going to finish up creating a new game over, and then stop moving left and stop spotting the obstacles and destroying all the obstacles. Hopefully we can finish this in one video. One thing I keep forgetting to tell you to do is making sure that you're pushing up to collab. So you're saving your work. So we're in lesson 3.2. We just finished step 3. So I'm gonna put that in there and push it up. That way, if for some reason you change computers or you lose your work on your own computer, you can come back and get this. Or for me, if for my class, if I need to support you, I can, since I'm part of your organization, I can get your work and check your work off. All right, we are moving forward with this. So we are now in step 4, and we are adding a new game over trigger. So this is important that we need to figure this one out. So we have both the ground here and the obstacles here need to have a tag on them. So the way that tags work, so we have tags here. So the ground, we have the tags are here for the ground, and it says untag. So we're going to click on here and it says tags. So if you notice, we have different tags that are already created. So we have regular tags like game controller and player. Those are normal tags that you could add. We don't want to do this. We want to create our own tag. So we're in ground. We want to create a tag called ground. And right here, we can click on plus to create a new tag. And we're going to call it ground. And we can hit save. While we're at it, we can actually add the other tag that we're going to use, which is also obstacle. Make sure you spell this right. O-B-S-T-A-O-B-O. O-B-S-T-A-C-L-E. You can, if you didn't know I was dyslexic, it would definitely show up, and it would be so easy to tell. So, all right, now that we have those tags created, let's go back to ground, and we're going to click on the tags and choose ground. So just because you created the tag does not mean that you actually got tagged. So now now ground has the tag. We're going to go down here to obstacle, and since that tag was created, we can go select it now. So click on it and choose obstacle. So now both the prefab has the tag of obstacle and the ground has a tag of ground. So those are important because we're going to start to when the person collides with the ground, something's going to happen, and if the person collides with the obstacle, something is going to happen. Are we clear on that so far? All right, so let's go open up player controller again. Player controller. All right, we have player controller open, and we are going to, at the beginning, we're going to create another variable, and it is going to be a public Boolean. So bool stands for Boolean. And if you're not familiar with this, or if you forgot what a Boolean is, a Boolean stands for or bool stands for Boolean, and it means either like on or off, true or false. It's yes or no. So in this it's true or false. So right now we're setting this to false. So bool means game over, false. And so we're starting it off being not true. It's false. And just like above, we already did that. I guess we've talked about this before because we said is on ground. So just repeating this one more time, Boolean, we have is on ground is true, and Boolean, game over is false. We're setting that to false. I guess we've talked about Boolean a little bit already. And then we are going to, I think we already have, we already have our private on collision. So again, that was a method that was already created for us. And it says is on ground true. So we're actually going to do something around this is on ground. So let's go ahead and hit enter a couple times. We'll bring that back up into our code. We're going to create an if statement. So let's start with our if, like I like to do our parentheses and our curly brackets. and that, and we're going to put that is on ground into our, let's go ahead and copy that, and let's comment, or let's just go ahead and okay, I'm just gonna get rid of it. So Control X, I'm gonna put it in that if statement here, because we are going to actually say if the object collides with the ground, then we're gonna say it's on the ground, basically. And then else it's going to be, basically it's gonna be not. So we're going to so we're gonna set this up here. So so right now we have collision with objects. So right now we have collision with objects, and so we're saying if it's on the ground. So collision dot game object and we're going to say compare tags this time. So we're compare tags. So we have tags now that we're going to compare to. So this is where I don't want you to copy from if you copy this from the actually I have to put this in parentheses. Oh, so two things can happen here. One is that you don't open and close the parentheses here. So some people just leave, they forgot to put this extra parenthesis in here. They need two right there. One is for the if statement and one is for the compare tag. So you know what's going on. The other thing too is that you've copied the word from the text that says ground and the parentheses don't work. So I'm going to show you real quickly like the difference. Ground. So I want you to see, so these are my parentheses that I just typed in. I'm going to go ahead and copy this out of the text. I'm going to put this right here just so you can see. Do you see the difference in the parentheses? So my parentheses look like this. This is what came out of the text. And the Visual Studios will not recognize this. It'll say that there's an error. So I'm just going to go ahead and just show you real quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and control it. I'm actually going to paste it right here in place of this. So I'm going to put it there. And if you notice, it doesn't know that what that is. It's looking at it like, oh, I don't know what that is. But if you actually go in and put in your own parentheses right there and your own parentheses right there, it treats it correctly. So again, if you're having problems with that, that is why you have to replace your own parentheses there. Plain and simple. All right, so that is if you were comparing the tags to the ground. So if it's on the ground, it's true. So basically, we have our collision with the ground, but we have a little bit more going on with this now. So we basically want to say if we collide with the ground, great. Well, now we want to say if you collide with the obstacle, then we want to say the game's over. So we have something new that we're colliding with. So we're going to say else if and our new collision. So we have our new collision here. And so inside this, also too, so else if we did that, we again make sure you do your extra curly brackets. That's another thing we want to do here. So our else if start the parentheses and do another set of curly brackets. Do not forget. So start your else if just the same way. I know this happens a lot for people where they forgot to do the parentheses and then the curly brackets. So inside this else if we want to say if we collide with the obstacle, the game over, it's going to be game over. It's going to be true. So at the beginning we said false, and here we're going to say true. Okay. So collision with game object, and we're going to compare a tag. And this time this tag is going to be, so open and close parentheses, and then this one's going to be our obstacle. So we have to spell it correctly. And if you spelled this differently in the tag, you got to make sure that it matches. So that's another thing. Some people spell this wrong or spell this differently in their tag. Same thing with ground. Did you use a capital G, lowercase g, obstacle? Double check to see how the tag is. Not the object in the game, but the actual tags. We're comparing tags. I know that this is something that really trips people up. Like they don't know what's going on. Like why is something not working? And it's, again, this is the tag. It's not the object. It's the tag. So this gets really confusing. All right, so here we're going to say game over. Oops, not game object. Try this again. Game over. Game over. And then we're going to say equals true. Okay, so now we're saying if it collides with the obstacle, it's going to be game over true. And then we're going to put something in the debug log. We did this before. And making sure that the computer recognizes this. That's going to be so important. Parentheses. And again, we're going to tell it what to say. Game over. And you would say whatever you want to in there. And I would just put in just a little bit different. Okay. So now I'm going to save that. So it's not really doing anything other than doing the debug log. We're going to do something else with it in a little bit. So I'm going to save that and go back to my game. And so when I hit play, thank you, Del. Oh, thank you so much, Del. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And again, when I hit this, it should do that. It should jump. And if I hit this, it gave me the game over down here. So that worked. So that's good. That's working. All right. Wow. Those obstacles are flying at me. Okay. So that's working. So it did what I wanted to. It gave me the debug log thingamajigger. It said game over in the debug log. We want everything to stop moving left when the game's over. We want it to stop. We just don't want everything to keep going, right? It should just stop. So that shouldn't be too hard to do. We want to actually create a script for that though. Oh no, we already have a move left. So in the move left script, we want to actually control this. So again, I think the big thing is making sure you're paying attention to which code you're supposed to be in. I think when I did this for the first time, that was really confusing. Like was I still in player controller? Was I move left? Was I in spawn manager? Was I in repeat background? So really pay attention to which script you're in when you're doing this. Make this one we're on move left. And we're going to create a new variable. So after our speed, which I have at 15, you might have it at 30. We're going to create a private. We're going to call it player controller. Player controller. And we're actually calling the player controller script. So you know how it popped up player controller? So it says player controller, and we're going to get the player controller script. So if I do so I said player controller. Now I want to go get the player controller script. So I'm going to do lowercase player controller. This is me calling it. So be careful not to just hit player controller again, because this is your name for it. You want to make sure that you are, so let me talk this through. So this is a private. I'm going out and getting the script from player controller. So I'm getting it from this other script. All right, we clear on this? So it's a private that's going to call another script, and I'm calling it player controller script. I know it can be a little confusing. And we're going to, in the start, we want to actually access that player controller script. And I see. So it's going to be equal to I'm not sure. Wait, hold up. Why is it saying? It's just saying player controller script, player controller, and start initiated by finding the player. Find the player and find the player. At the translate. So I'm not sure why it has just player controller script like hanging out there by itself. But let's go ahead and get the game object. I see. So we're going to player controller script, and we're we're in the player controller script. So we're leaving this here, but we're actually going in here, finding the game object from the player controller. So we're gonna find the the reason that this could all be on the same line, but you can really break these lines up. So let me just go ahead and do this. You could continue this on the same line. At any time you can hit enter and put it on a new line. So he's got it written out in 2 lines. Remember, player is spelled however you spelled player. If you use capital or lowercase or whatever, this is how you want to do it. So and we're going to say get component, and remember we're using this, and we're going to say player controller. And since this is a method, we're going to we're saying get player controller, and that line of script. So again, this is one long line. In the document, he split this up into two, but it's player controller script, and it's equal to the game object in that player controller. So this is the player controller that we're looking for. We're looking for the player because we need to utilize the player in what we're working in now. So I know this can get a little confusing, but hopefully this will make sense. So we're going to look for, do you remember in the player controller, we just created this game over, right? So in this move left, we need to utilize that game over. And that's what we're going to do. So down here in the update, we're going to say, basically, we're going to create an if statement. So let's go ahead and create our if statement. Boom. How do we do this? Go down here, do our curly brackets, separate them. So in our if statement, we're going to say, if in the player controller script, dot game over, basically, if in the player controller script, if it's game over in the player controller script and if it's false, then we're going to continue to do this transform translate, basically. If we do this, so let's do this. So we're going to transform translate. If this is what we're going to do, when we create an if statement, we're going to, if somebody tells you to do something in an if statement, and then that's not true anymore, then you don't do it anymore. You only do it while it's true, or if it's false. So we're going to do this while this is false. As soon as it's not false anymore, we're not going to do this anymore. So basically, we're going to say player controller script. We're going to say player controller script dot game over equals false. So while this equals false, if this equals false, for every frame, if this equals false, we're going to move left. And so we're going to say, if for every frame, if this equals false, we're going to move left. If this equals false, we're going to move left. If it's true, we're not going to move left anymore because we're out of that if statement. So all this up here was just so we could actually access this player controller in this. So now we're relying on another script to do this. I hope that made sense to you. Let's go ahead and see how this works. Oh, push up to collab so I don't crash. Save. Get a drink of water. Alrighty, let's see. So if we move and I don't collide, I'm gonna jump over one, and then I'm not gonna jump over the next one. All right, hey, that worked. So the game over is down in the lower corner, and this is I don't know if you can see on this side over here. Let me go ahead and not do full screen. Maximize. Let's try this again. I'm gonna show you something else. So now we still have a problem though. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump over this guy, and I'm not gonna jump over the next one. So the problem that we have now is these are still spawning. As they're still spawning, I'm still getting one every 2 seconds. I'm getting a pile of these. So that's the next problem that we have to solve. So I got everything to stop. That's cool. Now I need to get those to stop spawning. So we got to do kind of the same thing that we need to do for what we did last time. I think I'm going to, so that was the move left, game over, stop. Now we need to do stop obstacles from side. I really thought I could do this all in one video. This is pretty long as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this one, and we'll just do one more. I really hope. So let's go ahead and stop this recording and try another one.